All right, Seton, poll question today. Phone calls always welcome. We'll get to those coming up in a little bit.
Well, we might as well start with sort of an easier one. Who are you rooting for to win the national title? Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, Texas.
Okay.
It's pretty easy.
Rooting.
Yeah, who would you like to see win?
I know that the TV executives at the mothership would like to have Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I do know that. But we got 4 heavyweights here.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't go as scripted. You know, we thought, all right, these teams that have first-round buys, well, they all lost. Heisman Trophy candidates, they're all out of here. The SEC, I like how the SEC says, hey, we got one team, it's Texas. Yeah, the long-standing member of the SEC, Texas, is the lone representative of the SEC. You know, things have changed. Now, this might be an anomaly. And I think there'll be a lot of people who go out on the ledge today and say, hey, SEC, everybody caught up with you. I'm not going to go there yet, but I will say the following. NIL and transfer portal have changed everything because it used to be these big programs would stockpile talent. Like Georgia would have 3 running backs ready to go, much like the U had back in the day. Be like, oh, that guy got hurt, we're going to bring in this guy. You can't do that anymore. Kids want to play. They want to get paid. They may not stay around. They may go, try to get a raise. Like Jalen Milroe in Alabama is going pro. I don't know if Alabama wanted him back, but he's going to go pro. It just, things change and quickly. And then you get a quarterback. You know, Oregon, are they going to be in the market for a quarterback? Notre Dame, will they bring in Quinn Ewers? You know, Riley Leonard still played well last night. But, this is what's going on right now. Remember when you had Brian Kelly left Notre Dame because he wanted to go play and win national titles, so he went to LSU, while Marcus Freeman has Notre Dame in the Final Four? Things change, and everything's above board now. Everybody can pay. All you need is one booster. You just one guy who says, yeah, I'll pony up. Just like SMU, speaking of the ponies. They ponied up and, joined the ACC, brought in talent, and they made the playoffs. So things have changed. Georgia is not Georgia. Alabama's not Alabama. They're still going to be very good. But it feels like, I don't know if they've come down as much as the rest of college football has kind of come up a little bit here. Like Arizona State. Arizona State should have won that game against Texas. Went toe-to-toe with Texas and lived to tell about it. Alabama. Alabama got embarrassed this year. So even last night, that wasn't a true Georgia team, what you expect out of Kirby Smart. They just didn't have the skill position guys. Now, if Carson Beck is playing quarterback, is it a different game? Yes, but I still think Notre Dame was the better team last night. Georgia was unbelievable last year with Ladd McConkey, and they had, Brock Bowers. That's different. Those are game-changing players. They didn't have that. And you have these kids who are there, and then, do I want to go someplace else? Can I go someplace else? And that's what's happening here. You're not waiting around. Now, Arch Manning is an anomaly. He waited. Now, he comes from the Manning family, so they have money. He waited. He's not waiting anymore after this season. It'll be his job. But, any other place where you've got quarterbacks who are going to 2 schools, 3 schools during their 3 or 4 years in college, or 5 or 6 years of college. So it's changing. Do I want to say that it's parity? I don't. But I do think you have more teams now knowing that you can get into the playoffs. So you'll spend money to be able to make money, to be able to get into the playoffs. Now there's more hope instead of, hey, they're just going to take a SEC team and a Big Ten team. Or when we had the Pac-12. That's not the case anymore. Yes, Eden.
Yeah, it is funny, the timing of NIL and the SEC struggling.
As a college football source said to me last night, yeah, now that you can do everything above board, it's leveled the playing field.
Now that everybody is just clearly paying
yes.
everybody because it's legal to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. That's funny.
But I don't know if it's parity. I don't know if we've gotten there. I'd like to see a little more of a sample size here. I mean, Alabama was down this year. I don't think we expected it because it's Alabama, but they weren't a great football team. They, at times, were just an average team. They were non-threatening. Yes, Eaton.
They're great brand names, these teams left, but are they the 4 best teams left?
Yeah. I don't go, I'm not a Penn State fan because of their coach, but still they have a good quarterback. They got a good edge rusher, and they got a really good tight end.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. But we've never, Penn State doesn't win these games, but they're winning these games this year. And credit to them. Because normally we go, hey, Penn State, and then it would be like, oh, yeah, they bowed out. They're playing in the Gator Bowl. But here they are. And they're going to go toe-to-toe with Notre Dame. I would not be surprised if Penn State won that game. Texas has been good. Ohio State, they had the hiccup, and they paid for it, but then they made Oregon pay for it. So I'm fine with where we are with the Final Four. I think it's a pretty good representation here. I'm okay with it. Yes, Eden.
All 4 teams with a bye eliminated?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
They're going to change that, though, because, 2 of those teams, Arizona State and Boise State, next year, if they had, the same resume, wouldn't get a first-round bye. That'll change. But, I'm not surprised at any of that. And then people say, oh, rust. Oregon had rust, or Arizona State had rust, Boise State had rust. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know if you can say we don't want a first-round bye. We'll give it back to you. But, to see Georgia, and they weren't manhandled. I mean, Georgia still, there's some grown-ass men on the defensive line. But Notre Dame, they made plays. There were 60 seconds that changed the game. At the end of the first half and the start of the second half. That was it. And we wondered, how many points is enough? We thought maybe 2 touchdowns would be enough for Notre Dame to win that game. I just didn't think Georgia could score. And Notre Dame's got a really good defense. But here is Georgia head coach Kirby Smart.
Any thoughts on all 4 teams that had byes losing in the first round? Do you think that played a factor at all?
I don't know. I look at what Vegas says, and it went kind of with what Vegas said. You know what I mean? At least in those 2 games, I guess ours was I don't know, it was close, but 2 of those teams were better than the other teams, to be honest with you. And that is what it is. That's more about the seeding process and where it is. But I'm not here to complain about anything. Given the opportunity, Notre Dame lost probably their best defensive player. So I don't know how that's an advantage.
He's right about Vegas. This is what I keep telling you. College football, you've embraced gambling, so now embrace Vegas to help you seed these teams. Because Vegas has no emotion. They have no opinion. They're not part of a fan base. Their fan base is the University of Money. That's all they care about. That's it. So next year, I would embrace how the Vegas odds makers view these teams of who should be favored. And then that will get you the seeding. That will get you home field advantage, a first-round bye. That's the smart way to go.